Well, it's good to see you all today. Bright, shining faces. Lots of great things happening in Student Affairs and Enrollment Management. We've got a great program for you today. Allison and the committee have done a great job. What we do normally at this time is introduce anybody who has not been at a staff development and been introduced to the whole division before. So if you meet that definition, if you could stand up and I will come around to you with the microphone. Anybody? Okay, one right here, good. Introduce yourself, what office you work in, you know, if you like long walks on the beach or whatever.
Hey everybody, I'm Samuel Horsley. I'm the new departmental assistant with the Enrollment Services Center. I was a graduate here in 2013 and I'm looking forward to pursuing my master's degree here.
All right.
My name is Cynthia. I'm the new departmental assistant for the graduation team for the registrar's office. I graduated in December from University of West Georgia.
Got an immediate experience in that.
Hi, I'm Lindsay James. I am the new departmental associate in the registrar's office on the graduation team. I just finished my master's at Mercer University in December.
Thank you and welcome.
My name is Samantha, and I am the new departmental assistant in the financial aid office.
Hey, I'm Charlotte Cole. I'm also the new departmental assistant in financial aid, and I also just graduated in December.
Congratulations.
Good morning, I'm Tim McGowan. I'm the new assistant director in the Center for Adult Learners and Veterans, and I just moved here from Madison, Wisconsin, where it's 7 degrees right now.
Hi everyone, my name is Brenda Pinion and I work at the call center for Enrollment Services Center. I graduated last July from the University of West Georgia and I'm really excited to be here and that's pretty much it.
Hey everyone, my name is Tyler Hill. I am the coordinator of student volunteer programs here at West Georgia. I just graduated with my master's from Clemson University and I'm happy to be here.
Hi everyone, my name is Gabby Loya, and I'm the new temporary admissions representative right now, and I just graduated from West Georgia in December. So.
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren. I am also a new admissions recruiter currently for North Georgia, and I also just graduated in December.
Everyone, my name is Chris Black, and I'm the new coordinator of peer tutoring in the Center for Academic Success.
My name is Melissa Lawrence, and I am the social studies pastor at the Thompson Center. I've been here since January 1st.
I'm Maurice Ramsby, and I'm a captain specialist from the Disability Services here. Accessibility Service, sorry. I'm really bad at public speaking, just so you can tell. I don't really know what to say. I'm a current sophomore here in West Georgia, so this is my first time meeting all these people. It's nice to meet all of you.
And he's wearing Chuck Taylor, so can't be all that. Yeah, come on in, guys. There's plenty of seats at these tables here, this table up front. Don't sit at this one, they may make you be the speaker of the day. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Allison, and she's going to introduce our speaker.
Good morning, how are y'all doing? Good. All right, so a little different. I have a little activity on the table because I'm an activity, crafty kind of person. And so Dr. Green knows that we're doing an activity, so it's okay, you can write while he talks and he won't think it's rude, I promise. So on your table, you have a little note and it says, I love what you're doing at UWG. So I don't know about you guys, but I love getting little notes of encouragement throughout the week. And this doesn't have to be people in our division. It can be great, it is people in our division, but it can be anybody across UWG. It can be a sentence, it can be a note, whatever you think. And then when you're finished, just fold it up and write the person's name and their department, and then we'll get those through campus mail, and then people will have little love notes. So how great is that? So if you guys will work on that while our speaker talks and while we go through. I hope you brought some pens. I'm sorry. There's 2 on each table. All right. So next I'm going to introduce our speaker. I'm glad you guys are excited. Sounds like you're excited. All right. So Dr. John Green brings over 32 years of successful educational leadership as a teacher, coach, principal, district administrator, and superintendent to your organization. He earned recognition as the 2008 Georgia Educator of the Year and has shared his approaches with audiences throughout the country. He has improved student performance or coached and mentors others to do so in a variety of roles. The College Board, the Georgia Leadership Institute for School Improvement, Growing Leaders Incorporated, and numerous educational, civic, and leadership groups are just a few of the organizations that have sought Dr. Green's insights. He applies a highly connective style in sharing proven practices from a diverse array of experiences and research. Others say, Dr. Green has a unique ability to synthesize large amounts of information into clear, direct, actionable steps. Dr. Green's insights on trust, teams, and performance inspired us to improve immediately. Dr. Green currently serves as the director of the Carroll County Education Collaborative. In this role, he manages P through 16 community-based efforts involving UWG, West Georgia Tech, the Carroll County Chamber of Commerce, the public and independent K through 12 school systems, and Community Foundation for the purpose of improving student success. I'm so excited to introduce my friend, Dr. John Green.
Good morning, how you guys doing? You're still cold. Still cold, it's very, very cold. You do the same thing I do, so it's really awesome to have this group here. So you're all about student success, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that correct? And so I think one of my goals is, especially organizationally, is to gain some volunteers. And so Tyler, would you stand up? Because Tyler, you're new, right? And so Tyler's new, he's a volunteer coordinator. I heard him introduce himself. Hi, I'm John Green. I'm the director of CCEC. You won't know what that is right now, but you will soon. Get to know Tyler's face really, really well. I'm going to enlist Tyler. He's on board right now. Justin, do you agree? I think we need Tyler for sure. Dr. Head, what do you think? Definitely. Tyler, welcome aboard. Give Tyler a hand. We're glad he's here. When you send this note with the heart on it, and the person receives that from you, what are they going to do? All together? Right? And you would have just made an emotional connection. Correct? Without even being there. You would have made an emotional connection. I want you to look around the room, and I want you to see if there's anybody in here that you do not know. Is that a possibility? Go sit with that person, please. One of them. Go find one that you do not know. Go sit with them. I won't make you stay there forever. Just go sit there. And if it's already at your table, that's okay too. But get up, find somebody you don't know. Introduce yourself. If you've still not found somebody you don't know, raise your hand so the other person can find you. find yourself a seat with that new friend, your new best friend. We got a couple of extra chairs if you need to pull one up. Do you need a new best friend? You got one? Okay, we're good, we're good, we're good. All right, here's what I'd like for you to do. I want you to think a little bit first before you have this conversation with your new best friend. But I want you to think about your grandparents. I want you to think about your grandparents. And I want you to think about them in this regard. I want you to think about them, first of all, whether or not you ever knew them. Okay? And then if you didn't know them, then you're going to have to think about the stories that your parents may have told you about your grandparents. Okay? If you know your grandparents, okay, and you've got multiple grandparents, as most everybody does, pick your favorite one. Pick your favorite grandparent. Don't tell them you picked them. Don't tell the others you picked them either. Pick your favorite grandparent. Now think about that person. Okay? Now share your most favorite story about your favorite grandparent with your new best friend. Now take about 15 seconds and wrap your story up so your new best friend can tell his or hers. Okay, we've got some. They only had one story about their grandparent and now they're done. So they're waiting. I know some of you can tell stories about your grandparents all day. How many picked one of your grandmothers? How many of you picked one of your grandmothers? How many of you picked one of your grandfathers? That's more grandfathers than typical. That's good. That's good. I would have picked one of my grandmothers, but they both died. So I didn't know them. They both died when my parents were children. So I never knew my grandmothers. My grandmother on my dad's side was named Pearl. And Pearl was a mountain woman. And so she died when my dad was 9 years old. And so I heard stories about Pearl, but I never got to know her. And then my grandmother on my mom's side was called Oma, because in Germany that's what they call grandmothers. They call them Oma. And I didn't know her either, because she died shortly after childbirth in 1943 during World War II. And so I got to hear a lot about my German grandmother, but I never knew her. And so, because of that, My parents, who are both deceased now, but my parents believed in birthdays. They considered that a miracle. On the day, wherever you were, they made sure they wished a happy birthday, and sometimes they would just show up on your birthday, unannounced. And they drive 3 hours to do this, and then they leave a note on the door because you weren't there. And then I never fully appreciated that until years later, my dad, who had done this my entire life, on his 80th birthday, we did a surprise birthday party for him, and he broke down in tears because he said, that's the first birthday party that I ever had for me. Because, see, his mom died. See why that was so important? Birthdays were so important. It was like, you know, here I am, an old guy, and I go, duh. I should have been home on every one of my birthdays because it was so important to me. Now, how many of you made a personal connection with your new best friend? How many of you told stories about your grandparents to people you've been friends with for a long time, but you didn't really get to that level? I encourage you to share a grandparent story with your friends, because then they will become better friends. Because when you make a personal connection, that's a step above an emotional connection. This note makes it emotional, but this story makes it personal. We can also have a connection based on a national level. We'll do that as a little lead-in in terms of, well, hang on just a second. All right, how many watched the Super Bowl? Or at least ate the food and the commercials? Watched the commercials, okay? All right, has anybody seen all 50 Super Bowls? Yeah, my gosh. I've seen all 50 of them. Every single one of them. It's been awesome, too. I didn't get to go, but I got to see them on TV, okay? And there's one halftime show, one, that I remember most of all of them. Do you have a favorite halftime show? Carroll. I'm gonna play a little clip of the halftime show that was my favorite, and then I'm gonna explain why. Let's go ahead and cue that one up. Hopefully we don't have to 20 seconds. Oh, it is good. You gotta go from the slide. While it goes up, I'll set the stage for it. So in 2001, there was a very important event that happened to our country. It's sort of driven everything since then. What was it? 9/11. So 9/11 took place, and then we had a Super Bowl afterwards, a couple months later. And it was in 2002 because they played the Super Bowl, you know, at the end of January or 1st of February, somewhere in that time period. And this particular halftime show, they had the perfect group to perform the halftime show. U2. And they had the perfect song to play after 9/11. Tech folks are doing a good job. We don't get to this point. You'll have to pull it up and see it. Just a reminder. So it's called Streets with No Names. Anybody know that song, Streets with No Names? Okay. It's pretty good. Oh, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. All right. Here we go. Now we turn it up a little bit. With your new best friend, talk about how you just felt. If you're around during that time, one of the things that did was it actually helped heal a lot of people in terms of the connection that everybody felt and on a national level, and even in a lot of sense on a global level. And so that type of connection, you don't experience that very often. You have a great, number of times you'll experience an emotional connection from receiving a nice note and so forth. And then occasionally you'll get to experience a personal connection like you did when you told your grandparents' story. And then sometimes you're part of a real national type level connection. And those are rare. Those are rare. And so we're going to focus today a little bit differently in terms of a community connection. And what sort of, there's a lot of characteristics about those types of connections that are very consistent though. And so what we do with the CCEC is we're all in this together. We start working with children and think about their success when they're born until they get to the level where they have a career. And so it's important to think in that kind of span for us to have the greatest possible success. How are we structured though? Is that how we're structured? We've got about 150 years of a different type of structure. K-12 is not even K-12. K-12 can be 12 silos or 13. Kindergarten teachers sometimes don't talk to anybody else. Elementary folks don't talk to they don't talk to anybody else a lot of times. High school people, how often do they talk to the elementary folks? And then post-secondary, technical college and college, university. All of you in this room work with the students who are here, right? After they're here, okay? Imagine if all of the people that were involved in working with students saw it as a collective mission. And that everyone involved with student success in Carroll County actually was working for all of their success. There are over 20,000 students in Carroll County. That doesn't count the university enrollment. There's over 20,000 K-12. And so, if suddenly we began to have greater success with them before they get to you, I think that would probably be pretty remarkable. We've had a system that basically sorts and selects instead of one that says, we got to get them all ready. Somehow, get them somewhere for sure. Okay? So, these folks, under the leadership of Dr. Marrero, sat down at the table, just like you did when you told your grandparents' story. Folks that didn't know each other sat down and started talking about what their roles were, what they did in their various entities. And they came up with the decision that, look, let's work together. And then they hired me. So I helped them talk to each other. That's number one thing. Let's go to the next slide too. One of the things that we have is we have a talent and an opportunity gap. Some of you overcame the lack of opportunities that were provided for you. Some of you know people who've done that. The system didn't work for you or for those people you know. And so that's the part we try to work on. Okay? Go to the next slide. And so it's a focus on all the students throughout the community. Okay. We'll go to the next slide because that is just too much. That is too. There you go. Bright, sunshiny ovals. So this is how we do this. So we start examining the student opportunities. What are the different pathways that kids can participate in? Dual enrollment, early college, industry certified work programs, technical college, full research university, whatever it may be. What kind of opportunities do they have in the high school ages, in the middle school, and even elementary? Then, what happens when they're not successful? That's when we kind of provide interventions. After that, we start thinking about, well, what are the performance measures that we're most concerned with? Let me tell you a handful of them. We don't have a lot. We don't have a lot. Are they ready for kindergarten? So we make this determination. Is this child ready for kindergarten? You know who knows? Who knows? No, the parents don't know. The parents don't know because in their mind, their little kindergartner is what? The smartest little kindergartner in the whole planet. So the person who probably knows if they were ready for kindergarten is the kindergarten teacher. So we just got to ask them. All right? So here's the next level. So, you know, and if they're not ready, then what are we doing to get them ready? We've got some things in Carroll County already. One's called the FIRST Foundation, F-E-R-S-T. How many of you ever heard of that? Awesome. Been around 10 years, sends 3,300 books each year to kids before they turn 5 years old. Gets books in the homes of places that may not have them. Tremendous, tremendous work being done. Okay? All right, here's the next outcome. All right? Are they on grade level reading by the end of 3rd grade? Each child by the end of 3rd grade. How are we going to know that? There you go, there's a pattern here. We ask those 3rd grade teachers that. We'll figure that out. Now, after you figure that out, you get a percentage, a baseline score. Think about this. What if we have 80% of our 3rd graders in Carroll County who are on grade level at the end of 3rd grade? Is that good or bad? Neither. It's really neither, it just is. Okay? It's a Yodaism. It just is. Alright, so, but there's 20% that maybe not are where they need to be, so what are we going to do about it? Alright, so here's the next measure. So we've got ready for kindergarten, literacy by the end of 3rd, reading, and then numeracy. Numeracy. So are they pre-algebra ready by the end of 7th grade? Pre-algebra ready by the end of 7th grade. Why is that important? Here's what we know. You know what our strongest indicator of success in college is? Whether or not you take Algebra 1 and pass it by the 8th or 9th grade. Well, if you're not ready for algebra by the end of 7th, it's going to be hard to pass it. So this is why this is an important measure. All right? Then there's a ready for high school, graduate from high school, and ready for college. That's it. That's it. So those are kind of the performance outcomes, if that makes sense. Let's go to the next slide. These are some of the folks that are the heads of these different action teams. Okay? So Student Opportunities, Dr. Head, who is here, Dr. Alford from West Georgia Technical College. And I never say his name right, so I just call him Jay. And so Jay from Oak Mountain Academy, and these folks are looking at a P16 type of continuum. Support interventions, we've got Mr. Curry, Dr. Harmon from Carroll County Schools, and Mr. Barlow, who's here as well. And then we have performance and research processes, Dr. Jinks, who is here at the University of West Georgia, Ann Clifton from Carrollton City, and Kristen Douglas from West Georgia Technical. Communication and partnerships, we have Gary Lefford from Southwire, and Miss Jamie Bauer from University of West Georgia. Each of these action teams will have a team of folks, hopefully some of you, involved with this endeavor. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right, anytime you launch an organizational process, you've got to have some people that can worry about logistics and design. Because most often there's not enough attention paid to the logistics or the design, and people start pointing fingers at each other like it's a people problem. You ever seen like a really, really good person in a really, really bad system? And they get really, really frustrated because they're trying to do the very, very best they can. But because the structure, the design, the logistics are a mess, And there's nobody paying attention to that. So, if you ever lead any type of initiative, be sure to think about what the design evolution is about. So that's why we have these folks over here. We've got a Chamber of Commerce person, Ms. Lackey, we've got Dr. McClellan from West Georgia who does community engagement. She and I share the Bonner House. She makes me walk up the Harry Potter stairs. I don't make anybody else, which is, you like that. I love that place. It's pretty cool. And Ms. Kim Jones from the Community Foundation, and then Ms. Kim Warren from West Georgia Tech. So this is kind of the design group, and they're involved also with those other teams. The operations folks, you can see, you know Dr. Lingro, he's part of that team, okay? And Dr. Crafton is setting that group up. And so when that group first got together, it was very organic. It was pretty incredible. These are all folks that deal with logistics and operations and all these different entities, and now they all sat down together at one time. So, we almost had to just cancel the meeting, let you guys just do your own thing. It was pretty fascinating. Okay, go to the next thing. All right, here's the cool thing. There is so much that is already here. We don't have to reinvent a lot of stuff. We don't have to reinvent anything. We just need to get it more aligned and connected, and awareness and participation and those things, and make best use of what we already have. How many of you know of the 12 for Life? You already know of that program that's here. How many of you do not? Never heard of it. Okay. Those of you that do not, I'm going to share a video. Let me tell you what 12 for Life is. Okay, so this has been in existence for a decade. Harvard Graduate School cites it as one of the 6 most successful workforce development programs in the country. Okay? Southwire is your leading employer in this community. And so, I want you to see this clip. I'm crossing my fingers this time. Oh, man. He's getting there. He's getting there. All right, to give you a little lead into it. So basically, this is a program that's dropout prevention for kids that are at risk of dropping out of high school. Okay? And these are 4 stories that these kids all graduated. And it's totally because of this program. And I think that the lives that it's changed is just amazing. And so trying to replicate that in some other industries, which is one of the things we want to try to do. But also, it's an actual example of how you close that talent and opportunity gap.
Years of school you go through, that's the moment that you wait for, is your graduation.
D'Angelo, Celeste, Devon,
Since you're in kindergarten, I guess you could say that's all you hear about the graduation.
There's nothing like feeling graduating and being proud of yourself for all the hard work you've done.
I don't think that I truly accepted it until after it was over and I had my cap and gown off. And I just sat down on the couch and I was like, wow, and I held it in my hand, the diploma, had my name on it.
It was just that, that feeling of just, you made it.
I have it on the table and it's something that I actually look at every day and just, it's wonderful. I look back on that night and it is one of the most treasured moments in my life.
That was like the best feeling, because I never thought I was going to get that far.
Over the last decade, over 400,000 10th through 12th grade students dropped out of high school. Approximately 1 child out of 8 in the United States never graduates. 1 high school student drops out every 9 seconds. Southwire is making a difference. Since the inception of 12 for Life, Southwire has been actively reversing the dropout trend in Carroll County high schools, one student at a time.
My father passed away whenever I was in 7th grade, and my mom lost custody of me whenever I was 16. So I've been living on my own since I was 17.
My mom is a single parent. Make sure Rolando gets his medicine. I got it all laid out for you. I am the oldest. Come on, get up. So, me and my mom bring in most of the income. All I have is them. If I can't help them, what would I do?
My dad had ended up going to prison for 2 years, and my brother had gotten really bad on drug use and stuff, so my mom, she's sick with Crohn's disease, and they had said she had other problems too.
I had moved out with my dad. Classes started to fall, grades went down, and then, I was trying to balance sports as far as anything else that was going on.
High school dropouts are at risk for negative outcomes, like becoming a teen parent or spending time in prison. Teens who do not graduate high school are also at a greater risk of being unemployed and homeless as adults.
I fathered a child in my junior year of high school, working 40 hours a week in a restaurant. It was long hours, little pay, and I felt that my life was virtually non-existent. Work, sleep, that's all it was.
There was just so much going on that school wasn't my first priority.
There was a point where I didn't think I was going to graduate.
Sometimes, you want to be bargaining for it, that gives you the push to do more.
12 for Life is working for students like Matthew, Navinity, Kayla, and D'Angelo. 12 for Life students get paid for working at a Southwire facility created just for them, while earning course credit towards their high school degree.
You get credits and you get paid, so that's a 2-in-1 deal, so I went for it.
I'll have a job and I'll still be in school. I'll be able to graduate.
I got in the 12 Life program. They didn't give up on me.
After I got there, it's so much more than just having a class and working there.
After I got into 12 for Life, I actually had the energy. I became the kid again that sits in the front of the class and has all the answers and has everything on time and talks to the teacher after class.
In addition to manufacturing operations, the 12 for Life facility is a safe haven where kids can get all the help they need to complete their educations. Southwire employees mentor students, ensuring they get the work and life skills that are key to their success. Since the program's inception, 851 12 for Life students have graduated from high school. More than 40% of those have gone on to pursue post-secondary education.
I've met a lot of new people who I can tell my story to, and who have a story to tell too.
There's at least one person there who's been where you've been. We're all there for a reason. We all want it, and you just get close to everybody.
You always have people to pick you up when you're down, so it was nice.
If you ask me who I was closest to, it would definitely be the supervisors, because I've been through so much and I can communicate more with adults than I can with people my own age, and they were always there.
Supervisors, love my supervisors.
They can't do much but listen, but it's nice to have somebody there when you don't feel like you can talk to anybody else.
12 for Life changes and improves the quality of life in the community through education.
Here tonight, bathroom is a reality for us. I was thinking back to what I was, had become, and I was proud of myself. It felt good.
I've gone from having no standards to having unlimited expectations of myself because of 12 for Life.
I did that. I can say I did that.
12 for Life only motivates me to work harder, complete graduating and completely going to college.
I made it out of high school. I feel like maybe I can do it in college too.
I can say I'm a better person now.
I hope it continues to do what it has done for me, with hundreds of other kids coming up. I look at the 12th Life symbol and I see Sherry and I see hope. I see a future that wasn't there before.
It was definitely life-changing, and I'm proud of it.
Be proud and get involved. Provide hope for your community by improving graduation rates and impact the long-term growth of your community. Contact us today. 12forlife.com.
I love this quote. I went from having no standards to unlimited expectations for my life. What a transformation. What a transformation. We're blessed in this community to have such tremendous opportunities already, especially for kids in pre-K that we just want to continue to expand. And for the kids that potentially are going to be dropouts with 12 for Life, hopefully we can replicate that. Those are already structured and systematically in place. What we don't have are some of the things that we need to take care of throughout that journey. From a tutoring, from a mentoring standpoint, especially in our middle school years, and for the elementary grades when those kids are falling behind either in numeracy or in literacy. Michael Fullen says every great system on the planet does three things. Every great educational K-12 system on the planet does three things. They focus on literacy, numeracy, and graduation. And so it's simple stuff. The hard work is the connection. And hopefully today, through your experience with an emotional connection, a personal connection, a national connection, and a glimpse of the possibility for a community connection, we can continue to build a network of folks that are here to make this the absolute most educated place in the country. There's no reason that can't be the case. I feel blessed and fortunate to be here and be part of this work with these folks that I've met already and with you as I get to know who you are as well. That's all I have today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much, John. This, as John said, it isn't unique in the country, but what becomes unique is how we take it and go with it and keep it going. And with great leadership like John and Dr. Marrero, we're going to be able to do that. We've already started seeing out in our state community, stakeholders, legislators, governors, Board of Regents members, all of those people starting to look at this now as a model. Even though we haven't really accomplished a whole lot yet, other than the organization, they're already looking at it as a model to be able to replicate in other counties. And so John's doing great work. It's good having him, but many of you are already involved in that effort, and by virtue of today, many of you have just become volunteers to that effort, so thank you very much. That's all we have for today. Anything else, any other? Okay, and next month, we have a special treat, right? Okay, we have one of our own that's going to be presenting to us next month, so look forward to that. Remember, Engage West survey coming out so it'll be the next week, next Wednesday, right? Yep. And so make sure you get in, vote early and vote often. No, don't vote often. You're only going to be able to do it one time, but get in there and really looking for your honest feedback. You know, this is an opportunity for you to help your leadership understand what makes a better environment for you. So we've been talking a lot about, is this a supervisor evaluation? That isn't really what this is. We get supervisor information out of it, but it's really the opportunity for you to talk about what's going to make it a better environment for you, which gives us as leadership some information about how we're doing. We've been doing this for a couple of years. The action items have been rolling. We have a lot of changes already in the division because of Engage West, so we're the committee structure, a lot of opportunities to provide input. We're doing a lot more of those things. We're going to continue on those, but please give us feedback and help us understand. If you haven't already gone to one of the town halls about the survey, please do that. It is a little bit different this year. The items themselves are pretty much the same, but the process and what we'll get out of it may be a little different. So please pay attention to that. Ashley, you had a announcement.
Just a reminder that the University All Staff Day is March 11th, and so registration will open towards the end of this month, so look out for it.
Yeah, so that's the staff edition, right? Staff edition is going to be that, and you're very much encouraged to go to that. Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your week.